Hey, Brian from SnakeBytes here. Today it's all about the sand boas. You're watching SnakeBytes. Take a look at this Kenyan sand boa and how incredible of an animal it is. I always say that sand boas don't get nearly the attention that they deserve. They're one of the smallest boids that are out there, so if you want a boa but you don't want a huge animal, sand boas are something you definitely have to take a look at. I'm going to start by showing you a handful of species we work with and some color mutations, starting with this normal Kenyan sand boa. As you can see, even though they're called sand boas, we keep them on wood shavings because sand is actually abrasive to their mouth and actually can hold a lot of bacteria. So we use this aspen bedding, but you can still see that they bury right in there, and they're ambush hunters. As you can see with this animal right here, their eyes are on the very top of their head, so when they're buried in that bedding, they actually just have their head and their eyes out there, and when a mouse comes by, they just grab it and they don't even know what happened to them. This happens to be another mutation of sand boa or Kenyan sand boa that's an aneurystheristic, which basically just means that it's lacking the red. So as you can see, instead of being brown and orange, it's just black and white, which is just a really incredible color combination. This is another variant of Kenyan sand boa. They call these guys flame Kenyans, and basically what that means is just high orange with lots of flame coloring up their sides. Truly an incredible looking animal. Now sand boas are all really interesting, but Kenyans are especially cool because they have a bunch of color mutations and they're extremely easy to breed. Obviously they come from East Africa, areas like Kenya, hence their name, but the husbandry on them is really simple. We keep them at 75 to 85 degrees with a hot spot of about 90 degrees. Believe it or not, we don't even cool them down. We just throw the males and females together and feed them really well, and typically they'll have babies 4 months later. Now they'll have up to 30 babies, but the average litter is about 15.
This weekend we were in New York City. We got to hang out with Beetlejuice and SpongeBob and Edward Scissorhands and a lot of other weird people. I want to know your crazy run-ins with celebrities. Have you ever met anyone really cool and got to do fun things? Or have you ever met anyone famous? Leave a comment below and let us know.
But certainly what makes Kenyan sand boas the most popular of the sand boa species is their color mutations. Things like this albino Kenyan really set them apart. Again, the other sand boas are really cool, but Kenyans are just awesome with things like these albinos and now the snows and paradox albinos, paradox snows, and even new mutations like paints and all kinds of different stuff. Trust me, this is a really cutting edge project. So not only are they really cool animals, but they're also a really cool investment snake to work with if you want to produce something that just looks really incredible. One of the things that I think is the most interesting about sand boas is the way that they eat. Again, like I said before, they're ambush hunters. With those eyes on the top of their head, they just nestle down into the bedding and wait for food to come. As you can see with this guy, you can just barely see his head and his eyes. And as soon as I put the mouse near him, bam, they hit it. Another species of sand boa that is pretty cool are the rough scale sand boas, or Eryx conicus. Now what's interesting about all sand boas is that males stay much smaller than females. In this particular case, most of my males are only 10 to 12 inches, where females can get up to 2.5 and even 3 feet. Now these guys will only have about 6 to 10 babies, which is much less than the Kenyans, and there aren't any color mutations. As you can see, these guys are a little bit feisty, but they're actually really cool animals too. They range from India to Pakistan, and again, they actually don't need to be in sandy areas at all. They actually will range into agricultural areas and even slightly wet forests. So the sand boa thing is a little bit mistaken here, and as you can see, they certainly are the color that would fit really good in outcroppings of rocks and so on like that. Boy, this guy's a feisty bugger. Another species of sand boa that's really cool to keep are the Eryx jaculus, the javelin, or sometimes called spotted sand boas. Now these guys have the widest range of sand boas that I work with. They'll actually range all the way from Greece into the Middle East all the way to northern Africa. And they're very similar to the conicus or rough scales in the fact that they only typically have about 10 or 12 babies, much less than Kenyan sand boas. But they do get a little bit bigger than conicus and are a little more heavy bodied, with the females maxing out at almost 3 foot, but again, males staying under 2 foot. I wanted to share with you this cool project that a bunch of people are starting to work with, and that's the Rafuscan sand boas. They are a lot like Kenyans, but seem to be patternless, but they're so similar that you can actually breed them to Kenyans and get these striped animals. A lot of people are just calling these striped Kenyans, but the majority of the stripers out there actually do have Rafuscan blood in them. The last species of sand boas I want to share with you guys are the largest species of sand boa, and that's the Eryx johni, the Indian or smooth sand boa. These guys can max out at up to 4 feet, and certainly, as you can see, are much more heavily bodied than the other sand boas. But what's interesting is that they still only have 3 to 5 babies, but those babies are really big, and surprisingly enough, they're born orange with black banding. They fade out into a more dull color as they get older, but as you can see, there's still some banding by the tail. They use that to protect themselves from predators. They'll actually tuck their head and wave their tail so that the predator attacks their tail, sparing their life. Eryx johni have one color phase, and that's the sunset phase. And as you can see, they're really bright orange. Now, as they get bigger, they don't dull out like the normal johni, but they retain a lot of that orange pigment. They will dull a little bit, but not nearly as much as the normal Indian sand boa. Guys, I tell you what, sand boas are awesome animals, and this is just a little taste of what they're about. So if you're looking for a boa that doesn't get really big, definitely make sure to check out sand boas.
You guys gotta give me a hand with Satan. She's trying to kill me. I just can't do it myself.
If you hold a snake every day, it'll tame down. Try that.
Yeah.
That way you don't have to bug us.
We'll prove it, okay? Me and Chewy will both pick mean snakes, and we'll handle them every day, and I'll show you that with handling, you can tame down a snake. You just gotta be nice, you jerk.
Let's see you tame that Amazon.
I'll tame the Amazon, and then we gotta pick something for Sam.
I got a Woma that bites me every week.
Perfect.
Okay, fine.
Every day
Let's do
we'll
it.
hold them.
I will tame
And
that
we'll
little
prove
Woma
you're
down.
wrong.
She'll be puppy dog tamed by the end of the
Okay.
week. Hey, girl. Hey, you don't seem so bad. She seems friendly. I thought you guys said she was mean.
Day 1, Operation Amazon, here we go. Come here, meet your daddy.
Every time I move, will you let go? Every time I move, you squeeze harder.
God, oh.
Hey, Josh, can you come here for a second? She's squeezing kind of hard.
Oh, don't look at me. No.
She's trying to eat me, but without actually biting me.
Yep.
Oh.
There we go.
Come on! F you! Crawl on my hand! Not bite it!
I thought you were taming her down.
This is day 1. They're supposed to be mean.
Crawl on my hand. Be nice. This is a technique I like to use.
Oh my gosh. It shouldn't hurt this bad.
If you let them crawl.
Hey,
Nice.
Hey, great job, Sam.
Right?
You! Day 1 over!
We're friends, right? It's really not so bad. We can be friends. I don't know why you gotta be so mean. See, you're not bad. I think you just don't like Josh.
Day 2, face. Let's keep this easy. My hands hurt. Oh, look. I'm gonna try this technique. I don't give up on my techniques. I'm gonna try the crawling technique. You are a nice snake. Yeah!
No. Just gotta be careful. She's already taming down. It's only day 2.
Act like you're crawling through the deserts of the Amazon in your wild habitat. Oh, thank you. Day 3 is not about technique. It's about persistence. You are my baby. Come to be Chewy's. Oh, see? I knew you'd listen to me.
Hey, look at how nice we are. You're not mean at all.
This is gonna be Zen. Whoa. Zen!
We're totally gonna be friends, right?
So how's the snake taming going?
It's going great, actually.
Great.
Well, I think she's
Great.
just gonna hang out with me today. I'm gonna wrap her around my neck and just work with her because she's really taming down.
Around neck? Yeah, me too.
See, we're just gonna hang out, and you won't bite anyone anymore, and we'll just be cool friends. Look at this. Would a mean snake chill like this without biting the crap out of me? Hi. Hey, girl.
Oh. Hey, stupid. Look at what you did. You gave me a subtonia bleed.
How's that going?
What does it look like?
Do this for me so I can prove Sam wrong. Ah! 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 F you! Ah! Oh, that's tender in my meat. Stupid. This experiment over. Stupid bullshit.
I guess snakes just don't like you.
I guess my foot's gonna connect with your ass. Better keep walking.
For this week's Comment of the Week, the question was, what was your New Year's resolution? And Dark Monkey Balls 342 said,
my New Year's resolution is to be as badass as possible. It's been going pretty well. I would write more, but I have to head out and fight Nazi cyborg alien ninjas with Chuck Norris while riding on the back of a giant fire-breathing dragon snail, and then get some froyo.
yeah, I tell you what, you do sound pretty badass. I hope you guys enjoyed the show, and remember, Samboas are incredible animals. You guys know we just wrapped up the Critters Crumble contest, and we had a blast. I want you guys to follow us over on Facebook and Twitter at SnakeBytesTV for announcements of future giveaways, not to mention everything else that goes on here at BHB. Until next time, this has been Snake Bytes.
I like to make funny faces with the camera.